Hey everybody, welcome to Life's Rolling On. I'm Leo. Today we're installing an Akrapovic titanium slip-on silencer. All right, I got my trusty notes. Let's talk about the what and the why. I should have bought the full decat header from Akrapovic. Like most of us, I pay for this. None of this is sponsored. So I am saving towards that. But ultimately, after doing some research, I did settle in on the Akrapovic. And I love the fit and finish. I've had them on other motorcycles, fantastic quality. But there's other products out there just as nice. The Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde full system. I'd love to try that at some point. There's different suppliers. SC Project makes a great slip-on. Let's see what else. Leo Vince, HP Corsa, Aero. There's numerous out in the market right now, but I settled on the Akrapovic. So in due time, I will get the head pipe, but I think it's probably more fun to do this in steps so we can see together what actually happens. So I will tell you, one of the things I'm well aware of is I'm not expecting a big audible increase, and I wish it would, and I'm not expecting a big horsepower increase. Reading through Akrapovic's website and some other suppliers, roughly about a 1.9 horsepower gain, which sounds good, and all horsepower gains are good, but that gain was at 7,600 RPM, and that's not where any of us ride. So that's good on a dyno, and what it tells me is it's more free flowing, but it does have the DB cone welded in it, as well as I'm still running the factory servo system. So next episode, we're gonna run a Heel Tech servo eliminator, and then we're gonna look at this in steps. So today we're gonna install the silencer. We're gonna ride it this weekend. Next, we'll get the servo installed, ride it again, and then probably in a few months, I'll circle back with all of you and we'll install the Akrapovic titanium header, and possibly a different brand. We'll see. I'm not sure about mixing them at that time. But let's talk about what am I looking for overall? And again, it's getting back. We've talked in great detail about the utilitarian styling. Factory exhaust isn't bad. It's definitely great on long distance. I rode this bike, not my personal bike, but a 25 GS adventure in Europe for 4,000 to 5,000 kilometers, and was great. And I had a 18 Road Glide with an incredible horsepower Inc. stainless exhaust on it, and it sounded fantastic. But a loud exhaust degrades you over time. So if you go for any kind of long rides, you're putting 300, 400, 500 miles in the seat in a day, that in your ear wears you out. And I know a lot of people don't wear earplugs, but between wind noise, exhaust noise, music in your communicator, there's a lot of things that will add to at the end of the day, you're worn out. So I didn't want something too loud. After watching a few YouTube channels and people running, there's a couple really good links of people running full pipes. I'm sold. I think that's the way to go. And we'll see. So what we're going to do today is we'll talk about the tools. I have not pre-fit this at all. So whatever I stumble through doing this, we'll stumble through it together. And then we'll talk about how to clean it before you fire it up to keep the fingerprints off of it, as well as any upkeep. So without any further time being wasted, we will move over to the tool bench, look at the tools we need, talk about the install, and I'll show you the product, then we'll start tearing it down. Up first, we've got the Akrapovic titanium black with the carbon tip. The Akrapovic carbon exhaust cover that covers the servo. We're going to use the Enduro mount from BMW in conjunction with removing the pegs. And then I also have these BMW tab covers that clean the frame up. I'll make sure all of these are in the description box so you know what I've ordered and where to get them. All right, we're gonna start on the low side here, and then I'll put the camera on the tripod and then we'll start working on it. So we're gonna remove this. I'm gonna do another episode that's that's going to be part of this episode, where we're going to take off the rear pegs. That's something that I'm just not interested. I don't have a rider or pillion that I ride with regularly. That being said, I can't, this is ugly, got a high dollar exhaust. I want to see it. So we'll do that today. We're going to loosen this up. We're going to take these out. We're going to loosen these two T15s, and we're going to loosen the exhaust clamp on the bottom. All right, first order of business, we're going to take our T25. We're going to take, using a 1/4 inch drive, and we're going to take the cover off. And the only reason I'm choosing to do this first is because I want to be able to see the exhaust bracket on the bottom. Now the Akrapovic does come with new hardware. And just a little fun fact, it is Akrapovic, it's not Akrapovic. But yeah, anyways, a lot of people pronounce it Akrapovic, it's Akrapovic, and it's a gentleman's last name. All right, so that's pretty simple. You'll see there's one fastener here, and then two here, and nice with the exhaust tape, but we'll move that out of the way. So this is our 13 millimeter. There we go. I'm just gonna loosen that up. And then at this point, we're going to loosen our bracket, which we might use our impact for. Saw a cool article on a Facebook group for a GS 1300 question. It was a great question, and the gentleman asked if he asked for advice, and those groups can be treacherous about using an impact, and he was going to use a 12-volt Bosch, which is a good little tool to have. But everybody chimed in. I'd be curious if you use an impact or you prefer by hand, but I had chimed in that I prefer to do a lot of this by hand. You can tend to feel things going wrong before you ruin the parent metal. That being said, as we just did, I would probably consider what I'm gonna do now. I broke it free, and the reason I break it free is I wanna, if you don't have the torque value, you can get an understanding of just how much torque is on there. Even check it with your torque gun. So we're going to remove this anchor. Now, obviously, if you carry a passenger or pillion, so be it. So we have that off. These are the ugly bits for my European friends. There's a lot of ugly bits, but come on, BMW. We really saved money on not anodizing or powder coating the frame right there. We have a fix for that. So what we're going to do now is simply rock this. Don't get crazy. You can see I can twist it. I don't want to scar the parent metal. I could loosen this slightly, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm just going to take my time, and we're off. So let me go now get the parts, and we're gonna dive in and fix this. This is the Enduro mount versus this. We're going to mount this back on. We're going to not need those little covers, but we will on the other side because I'm going to remove the peg. Don't worry about the part number, I'll put it in there for you, but this is what those look like. So we would peel the backer off. On the other side, real sandal way to just pop it in and cover the frame. We're gonna need that because I'm gonna remove it. Now, that being said, if you're going to run your passenger pegs, that doesn't matter, and you're gonna bolt this back up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hand thread this back, and I'm gonna use it as a screwdriver in this case. This is where I talk about, you see me sometimes left or right. I'll get it started just so I know we're not in trouble. This particular application doesn't need an anti-seize. There is still parent material from the thread locker. I want to line the pipe up. So what I'm going to do is just walk it in, and that's it. Now, I'll probably back that off a 1/4 turn or so, just so it's not completely tight and allows me some ability to move this around. All right, next up, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the pipe on, and then I got a really cool mount from Gilles we're gonna work on. So that being said, nothing damaged there. We're back. I'm holding the pipe by the mount. I'm gonna set it down for a moment. As you can see, this pipe comes with its own clamp. And this clamp, let me see, is a 13. So we're gonna loosen this up. Oh, it is tight. So what I'm doing now is giving ourselves some room like we did when we took this off so we can walk it on. So basically we're slotted right here, as you can see. So what that's gonna do is allow me to walk that back on. You notice I'm wearing gloves, and the reason I'm wearing gloves is I wanna make sure my skin doesn't touch anything that I can leave fingerprints on. So you saw me walk that back on, super simple. And now we're gonna line this up and I'll be right back. So this was our stock cap, or spacer, which isn't bad. And then I have this Gilles Tooling red one that matches, it's gonna match some of my red accents on the bike. Pro Bolt USA red oil filler cap. We're gonna have an exhaust mount. So this doesn't have Loctite. So I just wanna pre-fit this and kind of see where I'm gonna land. All right, looks like I got that started. I'm gonna put a drop of thread locker. I have my thread locker snipped so it doesn't pour. I have to put a drop. And a drop is what I've done. This particular one, I will not use the impact on. I'm gonna slowly cinch this up, then we're gonna cinch. All right, I can still move this around now, so let's get a few turns on these. And then let's get another couple turns on this. And then these are snug, and now I'm gonna tighten the clamp. I would imagine the impact would be fine in the clamp, but I'm gonna snug it and then test fit my cover to see where my bolt needs to be. And I think it's towards the bottom where it's at right now. It's clocked to where it can't move. A quick note, this isn't necessarily BMW specific, any motorcycle, but when installing a silencer or an exhaust system, you wanna make sure no part of the exhaust is hitting the tire, is hitting the swing arm, or anything that could impede with your travel for your safety. So even though this is pretty self-explanatory, I still would check. And I do those things subconsciously, but I wanted to point it out for you as well. And Akrapovic did not provide torque values for their particular bike parts, but I am going to go to what I feel is appropriate. And then again, I keep in my list of things prepping to make sure I always check my hardware when I'm going through the bike, and that's a top to bottom. And we're gonna do a whole episode on how to prep a bike. I will tell you, I don't expect this to sound any louder, decibel-wise stock. We're gonna do a test here shortly. All right, we're back. Here's the Akrapovic cover. There is a hole here. Akrapovic did send another bolt, so I'm gonna use, their bolt comes with a rubber fiber washer, so we're gonna probably use that as well so this doesn't resonate and turn into a rattling annoyance. So we'll start with that, and then I'll go get the other bolt and we'll go, and we'll do it in pieces. So we're gonna fit this. This is around the servo, so that goes around the servo as intended, and then we're going to hand starting those bolts. Let me know in the description what you're running on your bike or what you like. I'm curious, there's a lot out there. When I was shopping for this, I was really interested in the SC project as well, but because the SC project didn't have a head pipe at that time, I'm not sure if they do now, I wanted a full system. I am looking at a custom handmade head pipe, a titanium head pipe out of Japan at the moment. And you are watching me struggle trying to get this bolt lined up, and I don't want to scratch anything. So my fear is I have this pricey, perfectly built, super engineered Akrapovic that would work superiorly with its own head pipe, yet your boy wants to be different. from everybody. And I'm a pretty big advocate that anybody that starts a conversation off with, I want to be different, you're in trouble. It's going to be bad. But there's no sense to not use the Akrapovic. So I'll keep you posted whether we're going to do that. I'm going to get this last bolt for the bottom and we're going to get this wrapped up. And I'm hoping the light shows you, but you see like if you can see, there's like a greasy fingerprint smudge, even though I use gloves. I don't know what was on the glove. I don't know if somebody packaged this and touched it. So I learned this on Harleys, especially stainless pipes, but the tie portion, the canister, anything you touch and then you fire it up, it's going to bake it into the finish. So I'm using a fresh microfiber towel with no tag and 70% isopropyl alcohol. The only other thing that I'm aware of, and if you know a trick that works better or as good, put it in the comments for us, is glass cleaner. Just everyday glass cleaner. But not using too much. I'll show you. It just dampened the rag. Gonna test an inconspicuous spot, but I'm going to wipe and it will evaporate, but I'm going to wipe the canister to rid of any finger oil all the way around, including the mount, because all of it's gonna get hot. And I don't think the carbon fiber is susceptible to that because it's got a clear finish on it, but the alcohol won't affect that. But what you started with is what you're gonna live with. And if it's not a big deal, and again, if you've got an Enduro bike and you're out bashing, it's probably irrelevant. So that being said, I will wipe off the rest. All right, we've got the garage door cracked now. We've got our install done. Cold start, we'll do the same thing as we did before. Let's get a cold start and a stock exhaust note. It's inside my garage, doors open, kind of real world representation. All right, that was cold start. Now, again, I'm not anticipating much audible difference because of the exhaust servo. I think it actually sounded a little better, sounded a little deeper, had a little bit of a pop. All right, thanks for joining me today. I think it was a success. I'm super excited with how the Akrapovic pipe looks. I'm excited to ride it this weekend, going for a 1,000-mile ride throughout Nevada and Arizona with some friends. I'm gonna film that ride for you, so stay tuned if that is something you're interested in. Next step, we're gonna do the Hiltech servo eliminator. That'll be on the next episode. And then in a few weeks to come, or probably paychecks to come, I'm gonna save up for the head pipe and the decat header. Like always, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you watching. Till next time, go ride motorcycles. Take care.